So after years of wait, finally the Indian women's team has won an ICC tournament. Yes, you've heard it correct. Finally, they have won an ICC tournament, and I mean, it just all of a sudden felt like the Chak De India moment, and with Amul Mazumdar also having his own Kabir Khan story, and I mean, it was such a poetic justice, right? I mean, real life Kabir Khan probably doing it on the birthday of real life Kabir Khan at the stroke of midnight in Mumbai, and then Harmanpreet Kaur with the trophy in front of the gateway of India today. I mean, something which the men's captain MS Dhoni did years back. I mean, Kapil Dev brought India to notice years back in 1983 when nobody believed that they could beat teams, leave alone winning a World Cup, and they beat that mighty West Indies team. And this time, India women have done something similar. Well, they have played a couple of finals before. 2005, they played against Australia back in a time when probably not a lot of women would have believed that this is even a serious profession, at least for girls. Then they played the final in 2017 when slowly people started noticing women's cricket. That knock from Harmanpreet Kaur, which probably changed women's cricket, the perspective of women's cricket. That knock at Derby 171, not out against a team like Australia in semi-final, led by captain Meg Lanning. Well, they just were this close to winning the trophy in 2017, and they were in tears. I still remember Mithali Raj almost crying in that interview, post-match interview, and India just succumbed to pressure. They couldn't believe what unfurled in front of their eyes. 2022 was equally not good. They lost a couple of T20 World Cups also after coming very, very close. Harmanpreet Kaur had seen it all, and probably this was her last World Cup, and she thought maybe just give it last one chance. And it was fitting that the final catch was taken by her only. And I mean, the Indian captain will always be involved in the final ball whenever a final is played in Mumbai, probably. And mind you, Harmanpreet used to wear 7 jersey. She recently changed it to 23. So I mean, there were so many similarities with the 2011 tournament. And I'm joined by Abhishek and Ritik. Well, so I would like to go to Ritik and say, I mean, women's cricket, I think, definitely has seen some reforms, particularly over the last 3 4 years with the emergence of IPL, equal pay, and all these things. And I think it's onwards and upwards. So, how do you see women's cricket? How has this shaped over the last few years? The result of which we are seeing today.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned that women's cricket has improved by leaps and bounds, if I put it in that way. Especially if I talk about the last 4 5 years. I mean, in particular, if we talk about the Indian women's team, I mean, the things like the equal parity, the emergence of WPL, uh, again, all these exposures and the board, of course, the BCCI being the richest board, increasing its investment in women's cricket, all these have played a key role. And I mean, all those tears, all those frustration, despair of, if I put it that way, Anjum Chopra, Mithali Raj, Jhulan Goswami, finally, all those things came to an end. And it was, yes, a fitting end that Herman took the catch after so many years of struggle. And yes, I mean, that's the result we are seeing, and we are in a happy state of mind. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I thought if anyone deserved it more than everyone else, it was Harmanpreet Kaur. I mean, even after giving 171 not
Yeah.
out of 50 in the final, she didn't win it. Then in 2023, she again scored a 50 against Australia, but got run out at a crucial time and lost the semis. Even in the 2022 CWG final, Commonwealth Games in London, she gave it her all, but they lost to Australia by a very small margin. Again in 2024, she came close against Australia, scored a 50, I think, but yet again couldn't manage to win. But this time, finally, her knock against Australia, and then the support from the others was so good. I mean, probably she deserved it more than anyone else. Probably this was her last World Cup, and it was like that film Bhag Milka Bhag. She said, "I will play like that only. It's my
Yes.
last World Cup." So I would from here go to Abhishek and talk about the performances. Probably Abhishek would also admit that not a lot of the supporters were, including many of us, didn't believe that this Indian team would go on to eventually win the title. And particularly after they lost all their 3 games to the other 3 semi-finalists, England, Australia, and South Africa in the group stage, they needed to win against New Zealand in a must-win game, and then that semi against Australia, 340 run target, and the way they overcame all the barriers and finally managed to win the final.
Correct. as you mentioned, Satoshi, if you look Indian women's team hindsight in, so we can divide it into two phases. The phase one we can call it the group stage phase, and the phase two the semi-final and the final. And even you can classify the New Zealand game into that. Like they started comfortably beating Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, um, because they were
In
the
fact, they didn't
Asia.
even comfortably beat Sri Lanka. They lost,
Yeah,
I think, 6 wickets early. Then Amanjot Kaur and Dipti Sharma stitched a partnership and somehow managed a respectable score. So they were pretty fragile in that first half of the
yeah.
tournament. Then all of a sudden, the New Zealand game, the switch flipped.
Yeah, and if you see the South African game, they were 80 for 5, and and South Africa women chased easily
Yes.
a target of 270 odd, then scoring 330 against Australia, and Australia team chasing the target comfortably within 1 hour, with 1 hour remaining, and then England game, which all of us thought that India would win, and when 50 runs I think were required of 48 balls,
Well,
and
it was a
losing from
blessing in
that
disguise.
position.
Had they won that game, probably they wouldn't have brought back Jemima because she was dropped in that game.
True. So, if you see all in hindsight, the tournament was not going very well for India, and then it all changed when they played the New Zealand game, and the way they played, especially Pratika Rawal. I would say Pratika Rawal's inclusion was also like miss was also what to say a break for Shafali Verma, who played excellent in the final. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think if God has his
I'm coming
own
to that
plans,
surely. I mean,
yeah,
Shafali,
if
she had a story on her own. I mean, she said in that interview
Absolutely.
that probably God has sent me here with some plan. And then in that final, I mean, she scored, I think, her career best ODI score. And then all of a sudden, that gamble with the ball, and she picked up two back-to-back wickets in her first 2 overs.
Yeah, and
exactly, she
eventually
was
the player
crucial.
of the match.
He was crucial
Yes.
with the
Yeah.
bat and ball both, and then India team never looked backward. So if you see that, yeah, there were doubts coming, people coming that about the
Yeah,
equal pay,
I
which
think that
Ritik
when they
already
won that
mentioned.
semi-final, the confidence was sky high. I mean, beating a team like Australia, chasing 340,
Yeah.
that was,
Yeah,
I mean, massive, massive to be honest. And the way
That was
Jemima
the major turnaround.
yes, with
Yeah.
the way Jemima played that game, harmanpreet, and not to forget Richa Ghosh, her cameo throughout the tournament, that South Africa game in
Isha
the
Oh my
group
God.
stage also.
Dipti
Mm,
Sharma, even Amanjeet Kaur are all
yeah, that
contributed
South Africa game
brilliantly
where
with the
Richa
bat.
Ghosh scored 94, that semi-final, even yesterday, Richa Ghosh's cameo.
Yeah,
Amanjot,
Yes. Yes.
I mean, she was superb in the field yesterday. That catch from Laura Woolward, probably reminding everyone of that Surya Kumar catch in Barbados. And
yeah,
then even the
Yeah.
run out when South Africa had a 50 runs opening partnership, she
Yeah.
gave
yeah.
Brits.
That
Yeah.
that was
didn't
that was a
to
great run
get
out. Yeah,
Tasmin Brits. Yeah, so Amanjot
Yeah.
Kaur was superb in the field. And everyone, I mean, Dipti Sharma with the bat and with the ball. Probably with the bat, she was a bit timid in her approach at times. That England game couldn't finish it. Yesterday also, she was a bit defensive in her approach at times. Could have scored a bit faster, but she was superb with the ball. And particularly that last 10 over phase when she picked up 4 wickets yesterday. Smriti Mandana was superb throughout the tournament. I mean, she's
Yeah.
scoring 400 plus runs in the tournament, probably the second highest score of the tournament and the
Yeah.
highest from India. Harmanpreet Kaur did her best. Then there was, I think, the Pacers were a bit hot and cold. Renuka Singh Thakur and Amanjot
yeah.
and
The bowling
Shanti
department
Gaur.
was a bit, I would say, point of discussion throughout the tournament. But yeah, I
Yeah, I
think we
think
can
uh,
leave it
out of the bowling
to talk
department,
about it
one
some
name which
another day.
stood out was Sri Charani. If
Yeah,
any one of you want to speak on her, she just came into the team, I think, a few months back, and then she was a revelation. Even in the Australia game, when everyone else was going for runs, she kept it
yeah.
tight.
Yeah.
She did
So,
well. Yeah,
yeah, if any one of you want to speak on her, I mean, like she was superb. The control and the accuracy she showed in all the games. Yesterday, also, I think the first 8 overs, the last over, she went for a bit of runs when Narendra Clark went after her, but she was superb throughout the tournament. Yeah, Radha Yadav was a bit iffy. But I think in all in all, I mean, it was a collective tournament
yeah,
from India, and probably, I mean, coming to the coach's story also, if anyone wants to add on that, Amol Mazumdar.
Oh my God. Oh my
yeah.
God.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
I can
So
add on
like
the coach
Saptashi,
story.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Please, Abhishek. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, speaking about just yeah, I think lots of positives are now coming up from the women's side. Like
Yeah, so if
from
anyone wants
Imran
to
Kabir.
speak on the real life Kabir Khan.
Yes, yes, I'm coming to that. And talking about the coach side, I think the one who has smashed. I was checking his records. I think played along with Sachin Tendulkar and likes of Vinod Kambli in the 1992 Ranji season, and then smashed, scoring around 11,000 runs in the first class. Didn't get a chance to make it into the Indian side, and then all of a sudden, when he comes into the coaching role, lifting Indian women the World Cup. He also coached Rajasthan Royals. I think he was also with the South Africa women. So I would say that he did well, very well with the coaching job. And I think a lot of women players also credited them that when they were down, the supporting staff not even like supported them throughout the tournament, raised their morals high, and that what good supporting staff does. So hats off to
Exactly.
Majumdar for supporting the
Yeah.
women and making them believe that they could win this elusive trophy.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely a dream come true for Amol Mazumdar also, and becoming a
Yeah,
part of the first ever Indian team that won the trophy. I mean, all the women cricketers who played when nobody believed in them, like Mithali Raj, Julian Anjum, even I think there was Sushma Verma yesterday, Vidya Krishnamurthy, and everyone was, I mean, so happy. On the women, there was Rumeli Dhar, I think. So, I mean, these girls were
and if you
so
get
happy.
yeah, and if you go back way to the 80s, Diana Idulji, the pioneer of women's Indian women's cricket. So a lot
Yeah,
of
so
Yeah.
names comes into picture.
these ladies started playing the game when probably even where men didn't play it on a regular basis. I mean, probably the men's game was also still not that much famous in
Yeah,
India. I'm not speaking of countries outside. So, I mean, definitely it's that kind of a 1983 kind of moment, you can say, and definitely a
Exactly.
proud moment.
see, it's
So,
definitely kind of a 1983 kind of a moment because unless you win trophies or tournaments, no matter how many times you go to final or semi-final, nobody will remember you. People will only start
Absolutely.
remember you when you go to when you start winning the tournament. So yes, this tournament is a major breakthrough for the women's cricket, and from here I think that the curve will go up mostly for the women's
yeah,
cricket.
so what's next? I mean, do you think people will start watching more of women cricket, and I mean supporting more of women players? Like these people say, I'm a Virat fan, I'm a Rohit fan, MS. So will people start speaking of Smriti, of Richa, of Harman, of maybe Shafali, of Pratika in the same regard?
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
doesn't
And yes.
the booked
Yes.
house yesterday showed give you the answer?
Pardon?
Doesn't the booked
Yeah.
house
The crowd,
yesterday give you the
the
answer?
full house crowd.
Yes,
Yeah,
probably yes. I mean, the Women's World Cup was held in India back in 2013, I think, and it was in Mumbai only. Although India wasn't playing the final, it was between I think Australia and West Indies, but there was absolutely no crowd this time around. Even in some of the matches which didn't consist of India, there were good amount of crowd. So people are watching women's cricket. People are interested, and probably the WPL has also played a bit of role
yeah,
in it. See,
Surely. Surely.
I don't think one will make India the best women's team overnight. Still, maybe Australia would beat them a lot of times
yeah,
because still they are high in the skill sets and all. But this
absolutely.
will surely be a confidence boost, and I mean it will also encourage a lot of girls to take up this sport and pave the path for a lot of other budding cricketers, who and a lot of parents who will probably encourage their daughters to pick up the cricket bat or pick up the ball and pursue this beautiful game as a profession. And definitely, I
Yeah.
mean, maybe 10, 15 years down the line, still I think there will be a bit of time. Maybe by then, a lot of these girls would retire also, say Sriniti Mandana or Shafali Verma or whoever it is. But maybe by then, the Indian women's team will become a team like the Indian men's team is now, a team which the entire world will regard, a team which overseas teams like Australia, England, South Africa, New Zealand will be wary to play against.
See,
Yeah, and
there's a
on that note, I
yeah.
would just, yes. And on that
Uh,
note, I would just like to add the way Saptarshi mentioned that the parents would ask their daughters to pick up the sport. So I was hearing in an interview the last day, I mean, on Hotstar itself that I mean Jemima Rodriguez, when she was back in 2017, she came to the airport. I mean, no matter what happened, India lost the World Cup against England,
Yeah,
but she came
yeah,
at the airport to receive the Indian team, and I'm pretty sure that that 2017 World Cup left a mark on her. And see what happened in 2025. She what a performance she delivered in semi-final. So definitely these moments, they shape generations to come, and it will definitely inspire a lot of the future daughters and future women to pick up the sport and do
Yes,
wonders. Definitely.
surely, surely.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think, I mean, definitely it's a huge moment for India in the sporting arena. And probably, I mean, the women's cricket will go upwards and onwards. There's a T20 World Cup coming up next year.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, India will definitely hope that that also goes in their favor. Yeah, they surely
Both men's
won't be
and women's. Both men's and women's. Yeah,
men's, anyways. I mean, let the women take the limelight today. But
yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
I mean,
India
when
This
will,
we
win
talk
has
about the both,
already now brought them in the limelight. That's what this win has done. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, surely. So, I mean, I hope people start watching women's cricket more, support them more whenever they play. Go and watch them or encourage them. And if they lose, I mean, they won't win every time. Every time, everything won't click. Maybe they would lose the next five tournaments. But please don't discourage and keep them supporting like you support the men players. That's
Agreed.
the request
Agreed.
I would have as a cricket fan. So I think
Yeah.
that was a good conversation, and that will draw the line on the Women's World Cup, which has been a fantastic tournament hosted by India and Sri Lanka this time around.
yeah,
So hats off to the Indian team, and not to forget the fight that the South African team also put up in the final.
Yeah.
So
Kudos to
that's
them
it.
as well.
That's it from the Women's ODI World Cup for 2025. We'll move to other tournaments. Stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, please share with your friends, and please like each and every of our videos which you like. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
thank you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Goodbye.